The unforgettable Christmas party. In a small, close-knit neighborhood, there was a young boy named Sammy who loved Christmas more than any other holiday. Every year, he eagerly awaited the festive season, as it was a time for spreading joy and bringing people together. This year, Sammy had a grand idea. He wanted to host a Christmas party for the entire neighborhood. He imagined a joyful gathering with delicious food, lively music, and, most importantly, an opportunity for the neighbors to bond and create lasting memories. Sammy's parents were very supportive of his idea and helped him plan the party. Together, they sent out invitations to all the neighbors, asking them to bring their favorite dish to share. Sammy's mom and dad offered their cozy living room for the event, which they decorated with sparkling lights, wreaths, and a beautifully adorned Christmas tree. As the days passed and Christmas Eve drew near, Sammy was filled with anticipation. He and his parents prepared a variety of treats, including cookies, hot cocoa, and a special holiday punch. Sammy even had a playlist of festive songs ready to keep the party lively. On Christmas Eve, as the sun began to set, the neighbors started arriving with dishes from their various traditions and cultures. The room was filled with the delicious aroma of different cuisines, and everyone greeted each other warmly. The party kicked off with a toast to the holiday season, and soon, people were sharing stories and laughter. Sammy had prepared a fun game where each person would share their favorite Christmas memory. It brought a sense of nostalgia to the gathering as the stories ranged from heartwarming to hilarious. As the evening continued, the neighbors enjoyed the homemade treats, danced to the festive music, and sang Christmas carols together. The room was filled with the sound of laughter, clinking glasses, and the harmony of voices. The highlight of the evening was when Sammy's elderly neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, shared a heartwarming story from her childhood. She told the guests about the time she received a simple wooden toy from her parents, and how that gift had meant the world to her. Her story reminded everyone that the true magic of Christmas was in the love and connections we share with one another. Afterward, Sammy and his friends organized a surprise performance, a mini Christmas play that they had rehearsed in secret. The guests were delighted by the effort and enthusiasm of the children. As the clock struck midnight, the neighbors gathered around the Christmas tree, exchanging heartfelt wishes for the holiday season. The room was filled with a sense of unity and belonging, as if they had formed a new, extended family. The neighbors left the party that night with full hearts and wonderful memories. They all agreed that it had been the most unforgettable Christmas party they had ever attended. Sammy's dream of bringing his neighborhood together had come true. In the years to come, the annual Christmas party became a beloved tradition for the neighborhood. It was a reminder that the true spirit of Christmas was not in the gifts under the tree but in the love, laughter, and togetherness that they shared with one another. Sammy and his family continued to host the Christmas party, and it remained a cherished event that brought warmth and happiness to their neighborhood every year. The end. A Christmas Carol for Mr. Jenkins. In a quiet and picturesque village named Evergreen Hills, there lived a man named Mr. Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins was known throughout the village as the grumpiest person anyone had ever met. He rarely smiled, hardly ever spoke a kind word, and seemed to have forgotten the joys of Christmas. Christmas was a season of cheer and goodwill in Evergreen Hills. The villagers decorated their homes, exchanged gifts, and sang carols, but Mr. Jenkins showed no interest in any of it. He preferred to spend Christmas alone, away from the festivities and merriment of the village. One chilly December morning, young Timmy, who lived next door to Mr. Jenkins, decided he wanted to change that. Timmy had heard stories about Mr. Jenkins' grumpiness but believed that everyone deserved to experience the magic of Christmas. Timmy decided to write a heartfelt letter to Mr. Jenkins, inviting him to their family's Christmas dinner. He explained that their family cherished the spirit of Christmas and wanted to share it with him. Timmy's parents and siblings were excited about the idea and supported his plan. Timmy, with the letter in hand, approached Mr. Jenkins' house, knocked on the door, and nervously waited. After a long moment, the door creaked open, and Mr. Jenkins peered out with a stern expression. "What do you want, boy?" he grumbled. Timmy cleared his throat and handed Mr. Jenkins the letter. "This is an invitation to our Christmas dinner.
"We'd be honored if you could join us." Mr. Jenkins glanced at the letter and then at Timmy.
He hadn't received an invitation to a Christmas dinner in many years, and the sincerity in Timmy's eyes touched his heart.
After a brief silence, he nodded and said, "I'll think about it."
On Christmas Eve, as the village prepared for the festivities, Timmy eagerly waited for Mr. Jenkins' response. Just as he had almost given up hope, there was a knock on the door. It was Mr. Jenkins, holding the letter in his hand. "I've decided to accept your invitation," he grumbled.
Timmy beamed with joy and thanked Mr. Jenkins.
He was thrilled that the grumpy old man had agreed to join them.
That evening, as Mr. Jenkins stepped into Timmy's home, he was greeted by the warmth of the fireplace, the delicious aroma of Christmas dinner, and the joyful laughter of Timmy's family. He had never experienced such a welcoming atmosphere. As the night progressed, Mr. Jenkins slowly began to open up. He shared stories of his own Christmases long ago, when he was a young boy filled with wonder and excitement. Timmy's family listened with great interest, and the more they spoke, the more Mr. Jenkins' heart softened. After a hearty meal, it was time for the family to exchange gifts. Mr. Jenkins watched with fascination as the children eagerly tore open their presents.
Timmy handed Mr. Jenkins a small, wrapped gift. Mr. Jenkins was surprised to receive a gift, and he carefully unwrapped it. Inside was a simple, hand-knit scarf.
"It's not much," Timmy said, "but I thought you might like it to keep warm in the winter."
Tears welled up in Mr. Jenkins' eyes as he thanked Timmy. He hadn't received a gift in years, and it meant more to him than he could express. As the night came to a close, Mr. Jenkins left with a heartfelt "Merry Christmas" and a genuine smile on his face. Timmy and his family had shown him the true spirit of Christmas, the spirit of love, kindness, and togetherness. In the years that followed, Mr. Jenkins' grumpiness slowly faded away. He became an active member of the Evergreen Hills community, joining in the Christmas festivities and sharing his own stories and experiences. He even started knitting scarves for the children in the village, paying the kindness forward. Timmy's simple act of inviting Mr. Jenkins to their Christmas dinner had not only transformed one man's life but had also brought the entire village closer together. It was a reminder that the true magic of Christmas was in the love and generosity we shared with one another. And as the years passed, Mr. Jenkins became known for his warm smile and the joy he brought to the village during the Christmas season. He had become a living testament to the power of the Christmas spirit. The end. The Christmas reunion. In the heart of a charming town named Pineville, there was a tale of a remarkable Christmas reunion that had been long awaited. The story centered around the Davis family, who, like many others, had experienced the ups and downs of life over the years. As the snow began to fall in early December, Mrs. Davis, a warm-hearted woman with a deep love for family, decided it was time to make a dream come true. She had a desire to gather her children and grandchildren for a Christmas reunion, a tradition they had not been able to uphold for nearly a decade. Over the years, life had taken the Davis children to various corners of the country, and the grandkids were growing up fast. Mrs. Davis longed for the days when they all used to gather around the fireplace, share stories, and sing carols together. With determination, she reached out to her children and proposed the idea of a Christmas reunion. Each of them recognized the importance of rekindling their family bonds, and they quickly agreed. Plans were set in motion to make it a reality. Mrs. Davis and her husband, Mr. Davis, spent weeks decorating their home. The house was filled with the scent of freshly baked gingerbread cookies and pine from the Christmas tree. They put up twinkling lights and hung stockings with care, each one bearing the name of a family member. As the day of the reunion drew near, the excitement in the Davis household grew palpable. The children and their families made their way back to Pineville, bringing with them the spirit of Christmas. Hugs and laughter filled the air as they arrived, the joy of reuniting after so long evident in every smile. The day before Christmas, the family ventured out to the nearby woods to select the perfect Christmas tree. They trudged through the snow, children laughing and playing, while the adults shared stories of Christmases past. Eventually, they found a magnificent tree that they all agreed was just right. Back home, they decorated the tree with ornaments that held sentimental value. Each bauble had a story, and as they hung them one by one, it felt like they were revisiting cherished moments from the past.
On Christmas Eve, the Davis family gathered in the living room, singing carols and sipping hot cocoa.
Mr. Davis read a Christmas story to the children by the warm glow of the fire. It was a night filled with love, laughter, and the joy of being together. Christmas morning arrived, and the family exchanged heartfelt gifts. But what mattered most was the love and togetherness they had rediscovered during their reunion. Mrs. Davis watched her children and grandchildren, her heart filled with gratitude for this special moment. As they sat down to a festive Christmas dinner, Mrs. Davis proposed a toast. She spoke of the importance of family, of cherishing the moments they had together, and of keeping the Christmas spirit alive in their hearts all year round. The reunion was a resounding success, and it rekindled the bonds that had been temporarily frayed by the passage of time and the distances that separated them. The Davis family realized that the true magic of Christmas was in the love and togetherness they shared, and they pledged to make the Christmas reunion an annual tradition. In the years that followed, the Davis family continued to gather in Pineville for their cherished Christmas reunion. They celebrated not only the holiday but also the enduring love and unity that held their family together, regardless of the miles that might separate them. The Christmas reunion remained a testament to the power of love and family, reminding them that, no matter where life took them, they would always have a place to call home in each other's hearts. The end. The Christmas Wish Factory. In the bustling city of Silverville, there was a unique and enchanting place known as the Christmas Wish Factory. It was a magical building that appeared only during the holiday season, hidden behind a dense grove of pine trees in the heart of the city. The factory was known for its ability to make dreams come true during the most wonderful time of the year. The story began with a young girl named Sophie, who had a heart full of kindness and a wish she held deep within her.
Sophie's greatest dream was to reunite her family for Christmas.
Her parents had separated years ago, and she missed the warmth of their togetherness during the holidays. Sophie had heard stories about the Christmas Wish Factory, a place where Christmas wishes could be granted. With hope in her heart, she set out to find the factory, following the flickering lights that led her through the pine tree grove. Inside the factory, she was greeted by elves who worked tirelessly to make wishes come true. They had pointy ears, rosy cheeks, and friendly smiles.
Sophie explained her wish to them, and they nodded in understanding. The head elf, named Jingle, handed Sophie a special key.
"This key," he said, "will lead you to the place where your wish can come true.
Follow it, and remember that the power of Christmas is in your heart."
With the key in hand, Sophie embarked on a journey through a series of rooms, each filled with symbols and decorations representing the spirit of Christmas. In one room, she hung a golden ornament on a tree, symbolizing the gift of love. In another, she placed a tiny bell on a sled to represent the sound of laughter. As she completed each task, the key led her closer to her destination. Finally, Sophie arrived in a room adorned with a beautiful, glowing star. At its center, she found a magical mirror that shimmered with an ethereal light. She looked into the mirror and saw her family, her parents, and herself, all smiling and celebrating Christmas together. Tears of joy filled Sophie's eyes as she realized that her Christmas wish had come true. The power of her love and the magic of the Christmas Wish Factory had reunited her family. She returned to the main room of the factory, where Jingle and the other elves celebrated her success. They reminded Sophie that the magic of Christmas could grant any wish, as long as it was filled with love and kindness. With her heart full of gratitude, Sophie left the factory and made her way back to Silverville. She shared the wonderful news with her parents, who were touched by the magic of Christmas and the love of their daughter. That Christmas was the most special one Sophie had ever experienced. Her family was together, and the love and warmth they shared filled their hearts. The Christmas Wish Factory had not only granted her wish but also reminded her family of the importance of togetherness during the holiday season. As the years went by, the Christmas Wish Factory continued to appear in Silverville, granting wishes and spreading the joy of the holiday season. The people of the city learned that the true magic of Christmas lay not in material gifts, but in the love, kindness, and the bonds that brought families together. Sophie's wish was a shining example of the magic of Christmas, a reminder that love and hope could create miracles, and that the Christmas wish factory was always there for those who believed.
The end.